Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about how to use critical thinking skill for answer reading and listening section in TOEFL. It's a final assignment for critical thinking skill course by Mr. Yusuf Al-Arif. Before we start, let me introduce the members of this group. There are Muhammad Hafizh Anshari, Yasminia Azzahra Mardi, Thea Raditya, and myself, Devi Anastasia. For listening section will be explained by Thea and Yasminia. For reading section will be explained by Hafizh and I. Reading is the first section on the TOEFL and it's designed to test your ability to understand university-level academic text and passage. Many TOEFL students find the reading section challenging because they have to read and analyze a lot of English in a short amount of time. While studying for TOEFL reading, be sure to take practice tests, reading academic texts, strengthen your vocabulary, and figure out if taking notes while reading helps you or hurts you. On test day, during TOEFL reading, remember to pace yourself, avoid getting stuck on one question and wasting time, and be sure to context clues to decipher the meaning of tricky words. How to answer TOEFL reading section? First, pace yourself. Each person will have a slightly different timeline, but you should aim to spend how long for reading each passage and how long for answering each questions. And then don't get tripped up on one question. On the reading section, it's easy to get stuck on one question and keep searching on the passage for some clue you've missed. If you spend a minute on a question and still don't know the answer, make your best guess, then move on to the next one. You can always come back to that question if you have time at the end. The TOEFL question maker will try to make answer choices sound like the right answer when they are actually not. Reading through all your options will help you avoid getting fooled. Then, use context clues to figure out the meaning of a word. Even if you put a lot of time into expanding your vocabulary and memorize all the words from your vocab list, you'll likely still come across at least one word you are not sure on TOEFL reading. When this happens, see if you can use context clue to figure out what the words means. And then look for evidence in the passage. Every correct answer will be supported by evidence in the passage. If it's not immediately obvious, if you are still unsure which the answer is correct, go back and skim the passage for clues.
I'm Muhammad Hafizh Anshari. In this occasion, I will continue the explanation from Devi about tips and tricks how to answering reading section in TOEFL test. As Devi said before, in answering reading section, we have to look for evidence. An easy way to find evidence is reading with strategy. In the reading section, the easiest thing that we can do is to read the questions and answer choices first. Why read the questions first, not read the text first? The point is so that we can save the questions we have read into our brains, so we can more easily and focus on scanning and skimming the reading passage. As we know, when we read the entire text first, it will take a lot of time, because most likely we will forget about what we have read when we're trying to answer a question, and it requires us to read it again and again. And that's all from me and Devi about tips and tricks in how to answering reading section with critical thinking skills. And now we move to the tips and tricks in how to answering listening section. And that will be delivered by my friend Yasminia and Thea.
Halo, My name is Yasminia Mardi. I will explain the trick to answer the TOEFL listening comprehension test. The TOEFL listening comprehension test aims to test our ability to understand spoken language. Questions in the TOEFL listening comprehension are divided into three parts, namely, Part A, conversation, usually has 30 questions. Part B, longer conversation, usually have 10 questions. And the last is Part C, talks, usually have 10 questions. Okay, now I will explain the trick to answer the TOEFL listening comprehension test. First, focus on the second line. Understanding the entire conversation will certainly be very helpful in determining the right answer. However, if we do not really master conversation in English, focus our attention on the second speaker. Usually, the answer in this statement delivered by the second speaker. Next, choose answer with synonym. For some problem cases, the expected answer can be in the form of synonyms for keywords from the topic being discussed. And the next, avoid similar sound. Many words in English sound similar, such as egg, bed, and so on. Not infrequently, TOEFL questions have answers that sound different from the conversation on the question. Then, draw conclusion about who, what, and where. Some listening questions are also presented in the form of drawing. Conclusion from a conversation about who, what, and where. And then, listen for who and what in a passive. The answer to an active statement or active sentence is usually a passive statement or a passive voice. Okay, that's all for me. Next will be explained by my friend Thea Raditya.
Hello, I'm Thea Raditya and thank you Yasminia. Now I will continue the explanation about tips and tricks how to answering the listening session in TOEFL test. As we heard before, Yasminia said avoid similar sound. And I will say the first trick is choosing the answer that is the most different from what you have heard. It is crucial to eliminate sounding the same word as what we hear with the choice of answer, and in the audio since this is specifically manipulating answer. And second, when listening to the conversation, you must understand the theme or topic being discussed. You can prepare yourself first by looking quickly at the answer choices in a few seconds before the conversation starts, so you can be ready for what's coming. Look at the word and expressions and try to guess what the topic will be. In that way, when the audio is playing, you will immediately find the topic of the conversations. Third, read all the answer choices because it's really important in order to answer listening questions. In this way, we can predict the context in which a conversation will be heard. Look again at each group of answers to try to guess what the question will be. Then, you will be ready to listen the answer the TOEFL listening session. Then, find the keyword in the recording. You have to be more sensitive to the words that are often spoken. However, be alert to matter relating to the 5W plus 1H. Focus your hearing. Draw the conclusion on the situation that occurred during the conversation. And for the last, focus on the detail of the conversations. In a conversation on the TOEFL listening test, the speaker usually insert the details of the incident in it, which will be included in the question. You need to understand the form of functional expressions such as agreement, uncertainty, suggestion, and surprise, idiomatic expression, and the situation in which the conversation takes place. That's all the 5 tips and tricks from me about how to answer listening session in TOEFL test.
Finally, here are the tips and tricks that we can explain in answering the reading and listening section in the TOEFL test. Hopefully, the tips and tricks that we have explained earlier can be useful. And that's all from us. Thank you.